Good morning. Welcome to the Artistic Artifacts Saturday Facebook Live. I'm Andy Martin, coming to you from Artistic Artifacts in Alexandria, Virginia. And if you haven't been tracking, it's cold here. So welcome, grab a mug of your favorite hot beverage, and settle in, because we're going to talk today about serger quilting. So I've got a couple samples here. This quilt, is the Diana Supersized pattern from the GE Designs, Stripology Quickies book. I made this all on the serger. I also made this strip quilt on the serger using a jelly roll, and also the quilt that we've got on the table here was also made with the serger. So if you've ever thought about using your serger for more than garments and more than just overlocking the edge, this is the Facebook Live for you. Let's talk about a couple announcements here for the store. So today and this weekend is the end of bolt sale. Goes through Sunday, the 1st of February. And it's 40% off when you finish a bolt, and this is an in-store only promotion. And we also have 25% off Artistic Artifacts curated bundles. So those are available both online and in-store. The local quilt store contest is currently going on, and this is sponsored by Annie, the folks who give us some great bag patterns, and also the By Annie Soft and Stable. Last year, Artistic Artifacts was privileged to be the winner of the By Annie local quilt store contest, and also the winner of the creative store contest. So we really need your support. If you go to the link in the bio or in the description, you can vote for your favorite local quilt store, and hopefully that's Artistic Artifacts. We've also got the Creative Minds Summit that's posted on the website. This is our signature event every year, and this year it is April 17 through 19. This is a 3-day event. We've got 4 fantastic instructors, including our owner, Judy Gula. So go to the Artistic Artifacts website under Events and Workshops. You can find more information about registering for the Creative Minds Summit. And then this year, we're continuing our virtual embroidery club. This year, we're working with BERNINA to use the Embroidery on Everything program. And so this is a 12-month project, one project a month program that BERNINA has for us. And so when you sign up for the Embroidery on Everything program, you will get a link to the Skill Hub videos, so that then you can go and view the tutorials and get all the information online. And then we are having a monthly in-store demo to give you more information and show you live how to do the embroidery. So lots of great things going on here at Artistic Artifacts. As always, we're so glad that you're here, and please, we'd love to get questions. So please drop a note in the chat about where you're from, where you're dialing in from, and then also if you've got any questions, please drop them in the chat so that we can answer them. So again,
Judy says hi from vacation.
Well, Judy, I was going to mention that you were on vacation, but yep, we're glad that you're having a great time. She's earned some well-deserved rest. So the quilt that behind me, again, this is the Diana Supersized Quilt. This is from the Stripology Quickies book. This is a great resource. It has about 10 patterns that show you how you can use the Stripology rulers, and this is the Stripology squared ruler. So, and the great thing about these rulers is that you can line up your project and get repeatable cuts. So, when you need to, when you got that project or that quilt pattern that has 852 5-inch squares, or four, or whatever it happens to be, the Stripology rulers really come in handy and will help you get through that, though, that cutting a lot faster. So the Stripology square, the Diana Supersized pattern, this has big blocks, and each block is 3 pieces. So it's a narrow, wide, and narrow strip. I use this is the On Your Mark and stamped collections from Seth Apter, for Free Spirit Designs. So and would you believe, and this is a big quilt. So this is, over 6 foot tall and about about 5.5 foot wide. I pieced, from going from raw yardage to the finished top in 2 days. So that, again, this is just and it helps that it is big blocks and it's fairly simple piecing, but also the serger comes in handy because the serger stitches faster than your sewing machine, and now with the cover stitch or the serger straight stitch on the L890, you're able to not only get the speed of the serger, but you also still have the opportunity to, if you need to press your seams open, you can do that. So, just this month, Bernina came out with a new presser foot for the L890. This is the C28 presser foot. So this is the clear cover and chain stitch foot. And you can see on the edge, they have marked they've marked the different seam guides with black marks, or black, and they've also got this little black dot on the left hand side. So when you can see, this is the standard L890 foot, and that is the new clear cover stitch chain stitch foot. So it's a little narrower, and it also has a wider little window there. So the benefit of this is that when you have when you put your cover stitch needle in the right needle position, this becomes a 1/4 inch foot. So so now you not only do you have the benefit of the serger straight stitch, you also now have a 1/4 inch foot. And this little black line, that tells you exactly where your needle is, so you can help align the project appropriately. So let's head over to the machine so I can show you what the setup is. And then again, the L890. So today we are using the cover stitch table. So, and I've dropped the knife. So now I've got room, just like on on your domestic sewing machine, you've got room to the right, so you have a throat, similar to your machine. I've selected stitch number 16. That's the 2-thread chain stitch, and the RC. The needle is going to be in the right cover chain position, and I have reduced the stitch length to 2.5. So again, very similar to the what you would have on your domestic machine. So I've got 2 cones of thread here, one in my needle and one in my chain looper, and so we're all set up to go. And I do like to use a leader, when I'm chain stitching, and because I just want to make sure that everything catches. So I'm going to just start with the leader here, And that way, and then I'm going to trim my needle thread, and because of the the serger cones, instead of, you essentially have an endless bobbin, which is a really nice feature, because we've all been there playing, bobbin chicken, and nobody, and then, or you run out of thread and you didn't realize it. And so having the endless bobbin, on with that looper, really comes in handy. So what I'm going to do here, I've already sewed one strip, of dark to my center, my wide light strip, and now I'm going to sew the other strip to that center. Now, again, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to I'm going to line up the edge of the fabric, just right here on the right side of the presser foot. So it's very similar to your 1/4-inch, presser feet for your domestic machine. But the serger has a longer presser foot, and the serger has 2 feed dogs. So that's going to help feed the fabric straight and keep it straight. So, and I'm just holding it, and now I'm just keeping that fabric on that right edge of the machine, or of the presser foot, and I'm just going to keep going, and then I'm just keeping a very light touch on the fabric. And I didn't pin. If you're a pinner or a clipper, that's perfectly fine. But I find I can keep going. And now we're just gonna keep going. Let's get this whole strip, because I've got a full width of fabric strip going here. And if you're a pedal to the metal sewer, the serger is really your friend. And again, I'm just making sure I've got that fabric lined up, keeping it on the right edge there. And then we'll just get this strip done. And this is how I'm able to get piece the quilt, the quilt top so quickly. And then I'm just going to grab my leader, clip it, and then make it my ender. And that way I'm ready to go for the next strip. And now this is this is the back of the chain stitch, and then this is the top. And one of the nice things too about the chain stitch, is that if for some reason, you got off for whatever, the chain stitch, you can pull out the chain stitch, so you don't need your, I've got to get my glasses. You don't need your seam ripper as much. All right, so we're gonna. And so just as easily as now, because that's one of the reasons that I like to use the leader and ender, is that the making sure that it locks this the chain in place. Let's see if I can get it to pull out here. So there we go. Well, it will pull out, really it will. So, all right. And I may just need to cut bait on this, but so again, we're able to. Well, it will pull out, and it'll come out all in one go. So that makes again, the if you need to unstitch, it's much easier. And again, this is, I'm still able to, unlike overlocking, I am able to press open my seam. So if I had, had a, something, a project where I had a lot of, layers coming together, I would be able to press that open. So now this is my strip unit. So from here, for the Diana Supersized Quilt, what we do is now take it over, come over back to the cutting table, and I would have taken this and given it a good press. And now taking the Stripology ruler, I'm going to line up one of the lines here with the line of my seam, and then I have used these little ruler stickers to mark where I'm going to cut, to so that I don't have to think about it. So I'm going to cut here on the 0, and I'm going to cut on the 4, and then I'm going to cut on the 8, and I'm going to cut on the 12. And so right there, I've already cut 3 of my pieces, and I can just continue on down the strip the strip unit. And again, this is another way that I'm really able to maximize my time, and I do cheat, and I cut right and left-handed, so that I'm able to go. And we just continue all the way down, and again, that's going to get you those consistent blocks very quickly, and you're and really make it a lot easier and a lot funner to keep doing your quilt. So one of the lighter fabric that's on that I used is from the new stamped collection. This is Seth Apter's new collection. This is a great blender. This is a great because it's really light, but it's not too light. I think it's a great medium and lightweight or light color light neutral type of fabric. So the only fabric that has color is a fabric called colors, and the colors here are the names of it's the names of colors in the color that their name matches. So I thought that was pretty cool. And then again, we've got one that's got a little bit more interest here. So the new this is the new Seth Apter line, and then and I matched it with the On Your Mark line, which came out last fall. And again, super easy, super quick, and and so many opportunities and so many ways that you can really customize and make this your own. You could I went with a dark light dark, or and light dark light kind of pattern for my piecing when I did this, and then I alternated them so that and I think that it came out with a really nice effect. I did quilt this on the Q24 with Q-matic using one of the quilting patterns. It kind of reminds me of string, or like string lights. So it all depends. But it has a lot of movement and a lot of curves that I think juxtapose well nicely with the the large scale and the all of the angles of the blocks. So, do we have any questions, Kyle?
No, a lot of good mornings. Back to the stitch pulling out. It will pull out, but never when others are watching.
Of course. Well, and it helps if you know, if you don't have this, if the stitches aren't locked, but yes, it will pull out. So
no other questions. Just hellos from all over the country.
Awesome.
And other people who are already owners of the L890 saying how much they love theirs.
Yeah, the L890 is really, this is Bernina's top of the line serger, and and so many options. Again, I'm using the Chainstitch or the serger straight stitch today, but you could certainly use a 3-thread overlock, 4-thread overlock to also do your piecing. I've done that. And if you think that your seams are going to be bulky and that it's going to feel off on your quilt, I'd recommend that you stitch a sample, one with the overlock, with the overlock seam, and one with either a serger straight stitch seam or sew one on your regular machine, and then once you get it quilted, you'll have a hard time telling the difference between the two samples. The L890 also has a number of, I also use the L890 to put on the binding. So I use a 3-thread overlock wide, and I put fusible thread in my lower looper, and that way when I put the binding on top, that fusible thread is on the bottom, and then when I go to iron the binding to the back, it secures it, and then I just go on with a top stitch to fully secure it, and it turns out great. That's just become my go-to technique for sewing binding, and again by having the fusible thread, that's one less step that I have to take, because I don't have to clip or pin or the binding before I do the final sew. And and if you were a person that if you like to hand stitch your binding, again the fusible thread will keep it in place while you do your hand stitching.
I'm told that you have to show your label.
Oh, sure. So I do put a label on all of my quilts. I use the embroidery. I use the V9 software to create the label, and then I use my my B790 Pro to stitch it out. But the and I use the software because I have more control about the fonts. But I do make the labels, and put and I just put them in the corner here, and so to secure them, I do a very narrow stitch, and then come around with it when again on it when I have the binding, when I do the binding. So yeah, that's the way I do, and I've got the label on. Oh, and we're going down. Okay. Well, thanks so much for stopping by today for Artistic Artifacts Facebook Live. We're so glad that you came by. If you're watching this on YouTube, please give us a like, subscribe, and share, and definitely leave a comment so that we know that you're watching. Oh, and if you've got this, we got a question.
Sorry, what foot for the binding?
I use the number C11 foot for the binding, because because with the extra layer, it keeps, because I'm doing overlock, for the binding. So I do want the C11. That's the standard foot. So, and the techniques for the binding are in the big book of Serger Quilting. So if you've been thinking about whether or not to get the big book of Serger Quilting, it's a great investment, and it will definitely give you some new techniques to take your Serger Quilting to the next level. Again, thanks for stopping by today. We're always glad that to see you all. If you're watching on YouTube, definitely give us a like and subscribe, and make sure that you click that bell to be notified when we post new videos. And if you see us on Facebook, definitely give us a like. And again, go to ArtisticArtifacts.com. You can, at the bottom, you can sign up for our newsletter. That's the easiest way to get all the information about the latest promotions that we've got going on here at the store. And if you're here in Alexandria, brave the cold, come out. We've got that 40% off end of bolt sale, so we definitely you definitely don't want to miss that. Have a great day, everybody. Happy serging and sewing.